Hello everybody, this is the tutorial for setting up evdev for the Python touchpad keyboard tutorial. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and install the evdev Python interface. Should be as simple as that. I've already got it installed on this computer. You see more if it's not installed. Second thing we want to do is configure the touchpad to report coordinates of touches in absolute mode. So to do that, you're going to need to find your xorg.conf file. On Ubuntu, it's not actually stored as a single file, it's stored in this folder thing. So pop that open and find the touchpad section. Looks something like this, and it should be the evdev touchpad section. And add this line, option mode absolute. Once you've got that done, should be basically good to go. Another thing I like to do on my computer is go ahead and disable the touchpad completely. If you don't do this, you can get weird interactions with the rest of the operating system when we're running the demos. So for me, I just take these two files, these two Synaptics files, and drop them out of the xorg.conf folder. And once you're done with this, you want to go ahead and restart your computer. I already had the evdev, the bare minimum stuff set up, so that was the evdev absolute mode touchpad stuff. So I'm not going to restart my computer. I'm just going to go back to the keyboard. Let's test the touchpad and keyboard, make sure they're actually working. So to do that, there's this evtest script. It's not mine. It's not in my GitHub, but there's a link to it somewhere in there. Let's go ahead and run it. What this does is just gives us the raw output basically of the evdev driver, so we make sure everything's working. Let's test the keyboard. For me, that's this guy. Device 3, press keys on the keyboard, everything's working correctly. Only things worth noting in here is that I have, let me press spacebar a few times, I have the value of spacebar hard-coded in my code at 57. I don't know if that's universal or not. Similarly, I have delete as 14 and escape as 1. If your keyboard reports other codes, which it may or may not, I don't know if these things are standard, then you might have to change these. You might have to change this in the actual code, but whatever. Anyhow, our keyboard's working, and we know because it's just spitting out a bunch of gobbledygook. Alright, let's test out the touchpad. For me, that's device 11. Go ahead and run that. We know the touchpad is working if when I touch the touchpad I get a ton of output like this. And you should see a bunch of abs X, abs Y, abs, all sorts of abs stuff. That should be telling you that everything's running in absolute mode. So if you're seeing all of this, then you're probably good to go. The last thing is I advise you you can either, well, to get this to work to get the evdev drivers to work with my program, you're either gonna have to run my program as sudo or give it access to the two dev files, the dev input files that correspond to your keyboard and touchpad. So again, in my case, this was filed dev input event 3 and dev input event 11. So I prefer you do not run my scripts as sudo, but what I'm going to advise you to do here is not terribly smart either. Just give everybody read permissions to dev input event 3 and event 11. Alright, so that's going to let everybody on your computer basically have raw access to raw keyboard and touchpad events, which is not a great idea either, but then you can go ahead and run the Python keyboard demo without root, and it would make me sad if running